Hey everyone, welcome back to another retro tabletop gameplay. Today we're going to be looking at a 2010 World Match. I'm going to be post-commentating just because the audio actually, unfortunately, did not work in this video, so I am forced to post-commentate in this case. So, starting off the game, he is going first because he won the coin flip. Whoever wins the coin flip is forced to go first. So I do find a base Pokemon there. I should put it down technically. I put the prizes out here first. Just a mistake on my part. Technically supposed to put the Pokemon down first, but whoops. I got a little ahead of myself. This was a really close game though. Really good game. Came down to a couple misplays on both sides that would end up costing the game. So perfect start on his side. He's got a Spiritomb with Dark Disgrace and Keystone Seal. Best starter in the deck, and it also shuts off the items. But just going to touch a Warp Energy and pass. Not much else going on his side. I have a great opening as well with Roseanne's Research. Actually, multiple Roseanne's Research, as you can see in my hand right there. Really the best opening support that you could ask for, allowing me to search my deck for basics. Unfortunately, I don't have an energy, and really the combo I'd want here would be able to find Baltoy, Energy, and Spiritomb. But unfortunately, I don't have all of them, so I'm just going to have to settle for getting Spiritomb and Baltoy and getting the energy next turn so I can retreat this Unknown G that I started. Unknown G is not the worst starter in the deck, but you'd much prefer starting Spiritomb or having a way to retreat it like Moonlight Stadium or an energy. He's got a Roseanne on his side, allowing him to search his deck, finding the pieces he needs. Takes him a little while, but we do find a Turtwig there, and I believe he finds a Baltoy as well. Finding Baltoy is absolutely great when you have Spiritomb, allowing you to establish that cosmic power as soon as possible. We're playing two different types of Baltoy. His is the consistency Baltoy, whereas mine is the Baltoy played in Psychic decks for the free retreat it gains from Moonlight Stadium. It's going to attach a DCE to that Torterra on the bench, or the Turtwig on the bench, very threatening. And it looks like he's probably going to go for a Dark Disgrace here, allowing him to search his deck for a Pokemon that evolves from one of his Pokemon in play, and then damage Spiritomb. It is a free attack, which is really strong. Looks like he's going to just go search the deck real quick, find the Claydol there. Claydol getting that in play, absolutely imperative. It's your consistency Pokemon. I draw a Gardevoir level X off the top. Not too useful at this point in the game, but I do still have Roseanne's in hand. You can see I've really stacked on these early game supporters, which is really good. Just going to be using them once he's done shuffling here. So just prepping some dice real quick, getting those out because I didn't have them before, and we're going to throw down the Roseanne's Research, allowing me to search my deck for up to 2 in any combination of basic energy and basic Pokemon. Grabbing a Ralts and Energy, best finds I could get here. Want to get our main attacker down, and we also want to get an energy to retreat this Unknown G that's been stuck in the active. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to respond with our own Dark Disgrace into Claydol. Basically a mirror play there, and our Spiritomb takes the damage. It's now his turn. Now after my Dark Disgrace, looks like he's going to potentially bench another Turtwig there, putting it down to the bench, and he's going to evolve into Grotle. He's got a good setup here, getting his 2 Torterras on the board, but now he gets to Cosmic Power to draw some cards, allowing him to put up to 2 from his hand at the bottom and draw up to 6 in hand. Cards will be on the side for you to read if you have any questions of what they do. And he's going for another Dark Disgrace here, the free attack, going to be able to evolve into either a Torterra or a Grotle. And I believe he chooses Grotle here, and you'll see why in the next turn why he chooses that. So Grotle's coming into play there. Both Grotles are pretty good, having on any option to evolve into Torterra when you need to. Top deck a Spiritomb, not really what we're looking for here. Unfortunately, we would love to find more pieces, but we do still have more supporters in hand, so we'll be fine. As well as Cosmic Power is set up. Going to evolve into Kirlia, very strong there, getting our main attacker set up, and we have a Roseanne's Research, search the deck for up to 2 basic energy and basic Pokemon, any combination of them. So going to probably find a Psychic if I had to imagine off this. I do want an attachment for turn, and if I had to guess, it's probably another Ralt off of this. Just getting your board set up with Ralts is really strong. You want to have multiple of them in play because Gardevoir is a very strong attacker, and I do go for the Ralts here. Ralts is also a good starter, but we did not start it in this particular game, so it's just going to be to obviously set up our stage 2 Gardevoirs and go late. So getting those down off of the Roseanne's Research and shuffling up, and I'm probably going to put an attachment for turn onto the Kirlia. Yep, that I am. Do still have my Cosmic Power available to me, which I think I will go for here. Makes sense to do that. Oh, I'm actually going to guard first. Guard is going to prevent all effects of attacks done to this Clay Doll, meaning it won't be able to be gutted up with Trapinch's inviting Trap in its deck. And that's what I'm preparing for. Contemplating some options here, looking at my hand. What do I want to Cosmic Power? What do I want to keep? We're looking, and if I had to be here, yep, it's definitely the Spiritomb and the other Psychic Pokemon there. Going to Cosmic Power for 3 off of the top, putting 2 to the bottom. Looks like I found another route. Not really what we're looking for exactly, but it's not horrible either. Mainly we want to find the Nidoqueen line pretty soon here. So, looks like I'm just going to Darkness Grace once again and search the deck for probably a Gardevoir, getting our consistency online. There is Gardevoir coming into play. Its Telepass provides me additional consistency as well as an attacker. He's going to evolve into his Fighting Torterra here, use its Sunshine Song to search his deck for the other Torterra and evolve his Grottle. That's why he evolved Grottle instead of using the Darkness Grace for a Torterra, so he could use that Sunshine Song Pokepower to evolve his other Grottle into Torterra, getting a 2-for-1. Showing him my 3 Rosans that chain right there, and he's got a pretty set up board here, 2 Torterras and a Clay Doll on the bench. Obviously, Spiritomb's still inactive, just keeping the items down under locks. And he's going to use his Cosmic Power to draw a couple more cards. He's definitely debating using some supporters because now that Gardevoir is in play, he is for sure knowing that he's going to have to pay for that. So he's just going to go supporterless and take out my Spiritomb. Gardevoir has the ability to copy supporters in your opponent's discard pile with its Telepass Pokepower. Find a DC off the top, which is just what I wanted to see. Attach it to the Gardevoir so it can start attacking with Psychic Lock. And I have the potential to level it up as well this turn because of the level up being in hand. And it looks like I'm going to do that. Level it up into Gardevoir level X for an additional HP boost, a new Pokepower, and a new attack. And I'm going to judge him to 4 cards in hand. Do a cut there because the shuffling is pretty long. So now we're to new 4 card hands, and I have consistency while I'm going to be shutting his consistency off. That's the goal with Gardevoir. Keep that pressure on the Psychic Lock while hand denying with Judge. I'm going to Cosmic Power here, putting 2 to the bottom for 4 off of the top. Not able to play the hand down any more than that. Very powerful Cosmic Power regardless. And off of that, I'm going to use the Telepass for his Roseanne's Research, which is right there. Yep, and it allows me to copy the effect of a supporter card in your opponent's discard pile once during my turn. I can use my Telepass to copy effect. I'm going to use Luxury Ball as well. Search Nidoran and Psychic off of the Roseanne, and I'm going to search Nidoqueen off of the Luxury Ball. Luxury Ball allows you to get a Pokemon that's not a level X out of your deck. So, going to bench Nidoran and Rare Candy it into Nidoqueen. Really, really strong board now. Nidoqueen's going to provide me passive healing between turns. And then I'm just going to hit with the Psychic Lock for 60 damage and turn off his Pokepowers. So, tough spot here, judged into a bad hand and Psychic Locked. What will he do to get out of this? He's going to attach the Psychic Energy to the bench Torterra. Not what he wants to really be doing. He wants to be putting those energies on the Flygon, but he's got to be powering up that attack slowly but surely. Deliberating his options here on what does he go for. Looks like he's just not so sure right now. Potentially going to go for the attack again, and it looks like he's going to go for the Crash Impact once again, just doing 60 more damage, 50 after the Nidoqueen's healing, and it's supposed to force me to switch to the bench. However, I actually forget to do that. It doesn't end up being relevant because I do have a level X out into play, but it will be fixed later. I do Drop Deck a double colorless energy there, pretty decent. The healing coming in there. Healing 10 damage in between turns is absolutely incredible. Nidoqueen is going to be a big differentiator in this game. I'm going to attach to this route on the bench, and eyeing up that Bebe in my hand, which seems pretty good right now. I have an Azelf in my hand as well, but I'm going to look for Cosmic Power first, see if I can find any other cards I want. And that was pretty decent. Looks like we found 3 more cards here. Put some of the resources we don't need right now to the bottom, and I'm going to Bebe now, putting that card back on the top, the Night Maintenance, and getting a Kirlia out of the deck to evolve my routes. So I just want to get multiple attackers set up, have different options available if I want to use Gallade. Getting the Kirlia out is pretty good. I'm also going to Telepass for Roseanne's Research once again while I'm at it to use the effect of that and search out a Psychic Energy, and I believe I search out an Azelf here, if I remember correctly. No, Uxie. Yep. That was a different search that I searched Azelf. So there is Uxie coming down. as well. It gives me an option to draw if I need it, but I don't really need to play it right now. I'd like to keep my bench space free and keep targets off of my board. So, looks like I'm going to fix the Crash Impact that I did not do there, switch to the Nidoqueen. It doesn't matter because I do have Gardevoir level X in play, and Gardevoir can use its teleportation Pokepower to just move back to the active spot, which I will do right here. Just moves me back to the active spot. So, Gardevoir powered up here, ready for another Psychic Lock, taking the knockout and healing once again with Nidoqueen, and I do get to take my first prize card here, hoping for something good. He's promoting Spiritomb again, applying that item lock pressure. Clearly his hand's not going great, but he does have a Roseanne's Research, which is really, really good. Allows him to get that grass energy he's been looking for, and he also gets a Trapinch. Trapinch is going to allow him to start setting up his Flygon, which is a secondary attacker in the deck. It's a great card as well, giving him free retreat. Going to attach that grass energy to the Torterra and just pass on that. He knows he does not have the Vibrava in the deck, otherwise he would have went for it there. I do draw the Judge, which is really good to have in hand, and I'm going to just heal with Nidoqueen. Going to attach the DCE to the benched Kirlia, get that set up to attack, and I'm going to evolve it into Gallade. This could potentially be a misplay, because Gallade isn't that great in this specific scenario, just because he doesn't get use early on. However, he is really good in this matchup in specific. I'm just not using him this game very well. I do use the Telepass there to find a Ralt off of the Roseanne's Research that I copied, getting another Ralton on the bench. Now that I have 2 attackers ready, we might as well get the third. I do also have to consider the option of getting Dusknoir out into play, which can allow me to shuffle his Pokemon back into the deck if he plays too greedy, but he's keeping his bench pretty low. I'm going to bench the Ralts there, and looking at the hand, seeing what options I have, looks like I'm just going to Psychic Lock and heal with the Nidoqueen, keep that Power Lock online while healing my Gardevoir up. He's going to promote the Trapinch. Doesn't look like he has much going on still, though, kind of hesitating on what to play. Though he does not have Vibrava in deck, so we have to assume it's either prize or in its hand, and he does have the Vibrava right there. He's going to bench Bronzong E4 onto the bench, just evolve into Vibrava. I think he just passes. He does pass here. Doesn't have anything else to do, so I'm just going to get a free hit into this Vibrava, as well as attaching to a bench, getting more healing, getting more damage on board, and getting energy. So, I do have Uxie in my hand, but I'm going to put it to the bottom of the deck and draw more cards. I wanted to find Dusknoir there because I had Rare Candy and Duskull in hand, or a Dusclops even would be very good. Unfortunately, I cannot find them. I'm just going to probably Psychic Lock here. Yep, once again, Psychic Lock. No, I did Healed with Nidoqueen, sorry. Because I forgot to do that. I do still have Telepass available if I wanted to use it. But it looks like we're just going to Psychic Lock. Keep that Power Lock on and put damage. Is a Luxury Ball in his hand that he's going to use to probably grab Flygon here, give himself that free retreat. Flygon's Rainbow Float gives all of his Pokemon free retreat for each energy attached to Flygon that's the same type as them, and it also has free retreat itself. So, does a free retreat now. He's going to attach a double colorless potentially to the Flygon, powering up for another attack. He's going to move it to the bench. This damage gets fixed, don't worry. He does forget to move it back, what we end up getting at. And he's going to hand refresh, shuffling each player to 4 cards, almost like a Judge. One thing that I should say is that I probably should have played Judge this last turn. I know he had the Oust in hand, and I probably should have Judge and Power Locked again just to put him into a worse hand after this draw. So, he's going to draw 4 more cards as well. I'm going to draw 5 for my turn. And it looks like I found an Expert Belt though, so it's not the worst condition here. He does get out of that temporary bad hand that he was stuck in there with the hand lock, but I do find Expert Belt, which does actually grant me the KO here, as well as helping me out in the future. Gonna attach a Psychic to Nidoqueen. This is potentially a little bit of a misplay. I wanted to keep attaching energy, however, I don't know if that was necessary at this point. I'm going to Cosmic Power real quick for 5, putting 2 to the bottom. Very, very strong. I do have a Judge here, and this is a time where I should have played Judge, because I know he just shuffled his hand and then trying to get a new one. I should potentially just hope it's not a good one and then shuffle it back in, but I don't here. So, just going to Telepass, or Psychic Lock here, sorry for the knockout. Potentially another thing I could have done is switched around it, forced him to Warp Point up something he would rather keep on his board, but I don't think that would have been that impactful. He would just give me Claydol. He's going to bring up Flygon and just attach and Power Swing, do 80 damage to me. I'm going to draw a Judge right here. Judge is obviously very strong, and I should really consider doing it here, but I just don't. I heal with Nidoqueen real quick going into my turn. This Gardevoir is in a bit of danger right now, though, because it can be finished off with a powerful Torterra attack. If he's able to find an Expert Belt, he's able to do 100 damage. So I do got to watch out for that, because I do have a bunch of damage on me already. Just checking out the options in my hand, seeing if I have anything I want to do. Looks like I may attempt a Cosmic Power here. By the looks of it, I don't think I'll be able to draw any cards. It does not look that way. So no cards being drawn off of the Cosmic Power is a bit of a bummer. But just putting them back into the deck is fine. Should be able to Cosmic Power for better cards next turn. Looks like I'm just going to Psychic Lock once again, take the knockout and heal, keep that Power Lock on, and keep the Domineering Gardevoir going. But I am in range if he's able to find a Expert Belt. He does a Bebe search here, thinking about what to put back into the deck. He's probably going to want to find that level X, getting his HP up and giving him access to a very powerful Poké Power if the Power Lock ever stops. So, Torterra level X is going to boost its HP, give it that awesome Poké Power, and Vigorous Dash, while not a very usable attack, just because it's high cost, is still an attack to keep in mind. Going to bench a Trapinch here, and he's going to attach a DCE to active. A little bit awkward on the energy placements, but he's able to Land Crush here for 80 damage, narrowly missing the KO because of the missing Expert Belt. I'm going to attach DCE to my benched Ralts here. By this point, I have already taken 4 prizes, so as you can see, Gallade is not that live of a card in this game, because I went ahead so far on prizes. But unfortunately, that's just the way it happens. I set it up for so I had the option, but it didn't end up coming in handy. I'm going to Telepass here just to put a card back into the deck with Bebe Search, not finding anything. I just want to put cards back in my deck to thin to hopefully find the pieces I'm looking for here. I want Rare Candy Gardevoir, so I have another Gardevoir ready. So, looks like I'm going to probably go for the Cosmic Power here. Now that my hand is a bit thinned down, putting Psychic and Moonlight to the bottom of the deck and drawing 2 cards off the top. Find a Gardevoir and a DCE, but not the Rare Candy. So that is very unfortunate. I would obviously prefer to get a Gardevoir into play, because my Gardevoir is probably going to go down if I don't swing in with something else this turn. My Gardevoir does have 130 on it. So I'm just going to heal it and just go for the Psychic Lock again. Just try to maintain the Psychic Lock and hope I can find the Rare Candy next turn. Psychic Lock doing 80 damage. Torterra is very scary because it heals every single turn with its Giga Drain attack. And that's what the goal of the deck's going to be. I have to beat him before he can get into a pace of game that he prefers. And he's just going to do that Giga Drain, taking the knockout, and healing the Torterra by the damage it did to the opponent. In this case 40, but if he finds an Expert Belt, he'll be healing for 60. Now this is a point where I make a pretty big misplay here, because this is when I promote the Ralts to the active. Because I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get the Gardevoir here. And this is actually a really big misplay in multiple ways, but it does end up costing a lot of energy doing this. So, draw a Claydol, not what you want to see when you're looking for a Rare Candy. And obviously at this point, Judge is like, I'm probably going to use it, but it's unfortunately past the point of where it's the best card, which I should have used the other turn. I'm going to bench Duskull just to thin it out of my hand. And it looks like I'm just eyeing up probably that Judge there. Yep, to get a new hand. Hopefully find the Rare Candy Gardevoir, but the chances are slim. So, 4 cards coming off the top. Do we find Rare Candy Gardevoir? We find an Energy, and we find a Rare Candy. We are just missing the Gardevoir. This is rough. So, I believe we still have Cosmic Power here, and I believe that's what we're going to go for. Yep, finding the cards we want to put. Nope, Night Maintenance, sorry. Night Maintenance. Increasing our odds of finding Gardevoir. This is another big misplay here. I put back Gardevoir, Gardevoir level X, and Ralts, not Ralts, Curly into the deck. I should have gotten back a Psychic Energy here instead of Curly X. Curly won't be that relevant. I do still have a lot of Rare Candies left. Cosmic Power, unfortunately, finds another Rare Candy, but does not find the Gardevoir. Really heartbreaking whiff right there, especially after I shuffled another one in to increase my odds. So, retreating here with the Psychic is really, really bad. Potentially could have retreated with DC. Neither one feels good, though. Do go in with Gallade. I need to keep the pressure on this Torterra, make sure it can't heal itself. I'm going to Psychic Cut for 100 after the prize damage boost that I will get here. Unfortunately, that Psychic is prized, and that is actually very impactful, unfortunately. But Gallade doing 100 is keeping on a bit of pressure, but how long will that pressure last if I'm not Psychic locking their powers away? We'll get access to Forest Murmurs and access to Cosmic Power. He's going to find a Nidoran here and put it onto the bench. Looking for Nidoqueen to start getting his healing online. And he's going to attach an Expert Belt. Really strong find off of the judge there. Just an incredible hand he's found. And he still has Cosmic Power to work with as well to draw even more cards. So just a really scary scenario here that I've put myself into. Not able to find the Gardevoir. And giving him a really good hand off that judge. And giving him the Expert Belt that he very much wanted. Pokémon's going to put back a Pokemon into the deck and find another Pokemon from the deck. Going to put Spiritomb back into the deck. So, what is he up to here? Probably looking for Nidoqueen, but he realizes that Nidoqueen's not there. He's going to use Azelf's Time Walk to look at his prize cards and then put one Pokemon he finds there into his hand. He knows Nidoqueen's prize, so he can find Nidoqueen off of that and then put a card from his hand back into the prizes. So, because the Power Lock is gone, he also got to put the Nidoqueen into play. Again, finding that Gardevoir would have been absolutely crucial. Unfortunately, though, his healing is going to be online now. He has an Unknown G in hand, deciding what to do with it. He's going to decide to guard the Azelf. This will also be a very relevant play that will come up later. And we have a Professor Oak's New Theory here to shuffle and draw 6. So you can kind of see I'm starting to lose control of this game that I went really, really far ahead in, just because you really hate to whiff the Power Lock. It's going to gust up my Duskull and take the knockout on it with its Giga Drain, healing 60 damage, dealing 60, and Duskull's down, so there's no threat of Dusknoir even anymore, because I also whiffed that last turn. So just whiffing big Pokemon, unfortunately. Drawing Moonlight, not the card you want to see in this case. I do not want to play Moonlight because it gives access for Flygon to take advantage of it by discarding it. I'm going to get Gardevoir out of the deck with Bebe's Search. One turn too late Gardevoir, and that one turn might end up costing me the entire game. Find Gardevoir there. We're still able to use Telepass, which is pretty good, and we have Cosmic Power, obviously, very, very strong. Gonna Telepass here just for a Psychic Energy, and I believe I get Azelf off of this. Because I'm using Roseanne's Research. Yep, just gonna grab the Azelf and put it to hand. Azelf, why I got that is because I can potentially level it up into the level X and get a way to turn off my Psychic Weakness, so Nidoqueen cannot hit into me. Going to attach a Psychic to the active Gardevoir here, so it can Psychic Lock. Power Lock going back on, but is it too late after we lost that very, very crucial turn of Power Locking? Gonna bench the Time Walk for no effect, just because my prizes are flipped over. I just want to get it down so I can level it up potentially. Maybe a misplay, but I'm trying to thin here to draw more cards. So I'm going to Cosmic Power for 4 from the top, putting 2 to the bottom. What do I find off this Cosmic Power? Well, nothing too amazing. A little bit disappointed there. Not able to find the cards I'm looking for, and just going to have to Psychic Lock for 60. So, he is going to heal off 10 damage there. Torterra has 180 HP now, very hard to knock out Pokemon, but it's still possible if I can find an Expert Belt in good time. He's going to Bebe Search here, putting a card back into the deck to find a Pokemon, deciding which one to put back. And he's going to search his deck for any Pokemon he'd like and put it into his hand. He's going to grab a Flygon, which makes sense. After his first Flygon got knocked out, he wants that Flygon back in play so he can get his free retreat back on his Pokemon with the Rainbow Flow Pokebody. So, just going to Rare Candy that into play onto the Trapinch, give him free retreat, attach a Grass Energy so Rainbow Flow activates for all of his Grass Pokemon, and he's going to retreat the Torterra here into the Flygon, and Flygon's going to stall. And the reason he did that is because if I had Belt and DCE in hand, I could take the knockout with Nidoqueen on the Torterra, and he didn't want that. Bebe Search here, I'm going to put a card back into the deck and find me a card out of the deck. Let's see what we get. We're going to find Gardevoir level X by the looks of it. Just getting another really big Gardevoir going and make it hard to knock out. So, looks like I'm just going to shuffle the deck right there off of the Bebe. It does look like we find the level X, I believe, off of that. I don't remember, did we? Yep, we're going to Telepass right here for Roseanne's Research, just checking the deck, see what we got. And as you notice here, this is the biggest play of the entire game. I got the level X, but I don't have Psychic Energy left. You can see that Retreat with the Ralts and the Night Maintenance cost me the game. There is no Psychic Energy left, otherwise Gardevoir level X's Bring Down would actually kill the Torterra and win the game here and there. I do not have game, And that was super close. If I had one more Psychic in the deck, that would be game, but I did not put one back with Night Maintenance, and I did not have one on this Gardevoir because I retreated the Ralt's Psychic Energy. So heartbreaking to not have it right there. Just going to have to just Psychic Lock again, which is a shame because I would have had game right then and there. But now, ball is now in his court. It's his game to lose. Pont going to draw 6 cards. Really, we've entered the war of attrition with FlyTerra that they love and we do not like. It's a war of attrition that they never lose. He's got the Flygon, potentially attaching Memory Berry, but decides not to. Level up Flygon is pretty big though, allowing him to mill cards and threaten a one-hit KO on my level X. He's going to bring in the Torterra again to heal more damage, chunking off 60 and actually 70 with the Nidoqueen's healing and hitting me for 50. I'm going to draw a Claydol right here. Not really a card you want to see right now either. Claydol is kind of, at this point, past its due date because I have one in play. So it looks like I'm going to just Telepass here to choose a card, put it back on the top for Baybay's Search, and grab Azelf level X out of the deck. Azelf can potentially do an attack here with Deep Balance, but I don't have Psychic Energy. I still have to take a knockout somehow to get that last Psychic Energy off of the prizes if I want to attack with Azelf's Deep Balance. Does take away my weakness if I can get into play, potentially stopping a Nidoqueen attack. But I don't think we'll see one of these games because the Nidoqueen just has a Grass Energy on it. Well, Torterra has a Psychic. Just going to Psychic Lock again, keep on the pressure, but really not be able to exert that much pressure when he's healing more than I'm doing. Going to just Giga Drain once again by the looks of it, checking out the attacks on it, and just, yeah, Giga Drain, because at this point he is healing more damage than Psychic Lock is doing, just really keeping himself out of any ranges. Nidoqueen's healing some damage off, down to 1 damage on it, just absolutely heartbreaking, and I have to put that damage on myself as well and heal that with Nidoqueen. Looking at what we can do here, looks like we're going to attach a DCE to the bench Nidoqueen, threaten the Ruthless Tail attack. If he keeps benching more Pokemon, that could be pretty strong. It can do up to 110 if I have an Expert Belt. Looks like we're going to potentially retreat, but we remember that Gardevoir has teleportation, so I don't need to retreat. Looks like we're just going to use teleportation here to switch the Gardevoir into the Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen's going to be able to hit with its Ruthless Tail here with Belt. This would have taken the KO if he'd left his Torterra active, but he smartly retreated it here, scouted out the play, and Nidoqueen's able to throw out 110 damage with its Ruthless Tail attack. If he had kept that Torterra active that one turn when he retreated it, it would have gotten knocked out, but he's able to get it out of active, keep it safe for now. Looks like he's going to attach the Memory Berry to Flygon, allowing it to use the attacks of its pre-evolutions, Trapinch and Vibrava. Trapinch has 2 really good attacks on it. He's going to Cosmic Power here. With powers back on, he's able to drop more cards, which I'm not a big fan of. He's also able to use Forest Murmurs, also not a big fan of, but that is the state of the game right now with his power unlocked. Looks like he's just going to Giga Drain the active, though. Not going to use Forest Murmurs to Gust because he just wants to get this Nidoqueen into a threatening range, because Nidoqueen is the scariest attacker on my field. Going to draw Baltoy again. Not very helpful draws here, but we do have, obviously, Cosmic Power. So I'm going to Warp Point, just force him out of the active. And this seems antithetical to my strategy. I want to be able to take a prize card to get that Psychic Energy out. So he's going to retreat here, and deciding what to bring up. Probably going to bring up the Flygon since it has free retreat, and can actually live an attack boosted by the Nidoqueen, so live that 110 damage attack. Looks like I'm going to switch the Nidoqueen out and promote Azelf. Azelf's going to be able to level up now that it is in the active spot into Azelf level X, removing my Psychic weakness, and having that Deep Balance as a threatening attack, if I can find that Psychic Energy of the prize. Cosmic Power is going to draw me a couple more cards here, putting 2 at the bottom of the deck and drawing 3. Looks like I have a few more options in my hand, but none of them are really winning me this scenario. So I'm probably just going to have to go up with Gardevoir again with teleportation, into the active. I'm going to just check the deck real quick with Telepass for Roseanne's Research. Don't find anything good in there. I don't want to put my hand back into the deck because it could be milled with Flygon, and this hand is pretty good, so just checking what possibly could be milled out of the deck. So, looks like I'm going to use teleportation to move Gardevoir into the active spot. And then it looks like I'm just going to Psychic Lock once again for 50 damage after the Nidoqueen. Unfortunately, with damage counters on my Nidoqueen, I do believe that I could not use Bring Down even if I had the energy here. Take a prize, just because there's a lot of damage on my field as well. It's going to mill the Spiritomb with the Flygon's Wind Erosion and draw a card for turn. Wind Erosion is very strong for trapping and stalling, but against Gardevoir you can't really trap it that easily. It's got Moonlight Stadium as well as the teleportation. It's going to free retreat the Flygon. Looks like we can go back into Torterra, just fully heal this monstrosity of a Pokemon, keep it healthy for the entire game. Looks like that's the plan. Going to potentially maybe attack with Lance Crush actually, because it does 100 damage, taking the knockdown on my level X, and my level X is gone, out of play now. Do bring up Nidoqueen, can threaten some more damage now, but obviously you can see I'm starting to lose this war of attrition because I'm not healing nearly as much as he is healing. Do draw a Moonlight, again, not very useful here. Do have a Judge in hand and all that, but there's just not that many great cards in hand. Gonna Cosmic Power, see if I can find something better. I do not. Just Cosmic Power for 1. I think I found a DCE there, which isn't awful, but isn't particularly relevant here. So it looks like I'm just going to hit for the Ruthless Tail for 100 damage after the healing. Is still threatening a lot of damage, and he's not able to one-hit KO the Nidoqueen, but is unfortunately not getting that KO number that we need there of 180. Looks like he's going to retreat once again with the Flygon's Rainbow Float, promote the Flygon to the active spot, kind of realizing that it's done its job, and he's going to gust up my Azelf with Inviting Trap on the Trapinch, using Memory Berry to copy that. So, trying to trap me for the turn, heal some, mills the rare candy off the top with Wind Erosion. Going to draw for turn, I drew a Dusclops, a little late Dusclops, just going to Cosmic Power here to draw. Find a Uxie off of that by the looks of it. Uxie's not going to do much for me though. Potentially could have used it earlier actually to push for a play, and I didn't do that when I grabbed Azelf instead. So I'm going to grab Moonlight here. It is safe to put it in play since I'm going to be taking out Flygon this turn. Moonlight Stadium otherwise would be a hazard with Flygon in play. But I'm going to take a knockout with Ruthless Tail here. Going to 1 prize. I have my Psychic Energy, but he has his game set up in front of him. He's going to be able to fully heal the Torterra once again. Torterra's going up into the active spot. Actually not fully healing, but very, very close to fully healing. Looks like he's just going to do that Giga Drain, heal off 70 damage with Nidoqueen, and Giga Drain doing 60. Just a really tough spot for me. How do I respond here? And the best way to respond is actually Azelf's Deep Balance, but I can't do that because he doesn't have 7 energy in play anymore. He only has 6 energy in play, and Azelf on his bench actually has that guard on it, meaning I can't hit it. And I can't, unfortunately, take the win there. Just a lot of options with the guard on the Azelf, the Claydol just out of range. There's nothing that can live another attack on the board besides Gallade, and he's not going to play into the Deep Balance knowing I have the Psychic Energy. It's a very close game though. If I would have potentially played a little bit better with trying to hit the Gardevoirs early on instead of Gallade, I think I probably could have taken that game. And as well as if I didn't judge when I did, there was definitely a better time to judge. I could have potentially taken that, but really close match. Well played to Nolo as well, who's really getting good at piloting this FlyTerra, making it really frustrating to play against. Thank you guys though so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, check out my other tabletop retro content, and check out my tier list videos that I upload every single Tuesday. Retro Tabletop is on Fridays. Thank you guys so much for watching. Maybe subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.